Excise Board calls this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Joe Clement.
Here.
Jerry Terrell.
Here.
Stoney Odom.
Here.
Approve Excise Board proceedings from the previous meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Joe Clement.
Yes.
Jerry Terrell.
Yes.
Stoney Odom.
Yes.
Review and sign if approved appropriations and transfers appropriations.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Joe Clement.
Yes.
Jerry Terrell.
Yes.
Stoney Odom.
Yes.
Number 5, Excise Board will recess the meeting to the commissioners.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Joe Clement.
Yes.
Jerry Terrell.
Yes.
Stoney Odom.
Yes.
Call this meeting to order, the County Commissioners Board, open meeting, and number 2, roll call.
Clark McCleary.
Here.
Larry Watson.
Here.
Billy Cloud.
Here. Number 3, pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 4, recognize any guest we have here today.
I'm April from OCAR, project coordinator. Can I remind everybody about the meeting? Task force meeting Wednesday at 1, correct, Larry?
Yep.
I'd love for y'all to be there.
Anyone else?
Where will that meeting be held at?
Yeah, Assembly of God Church in the fellowship hall.
What's that again?
It's a task force meeting, with OCAR for Haskell County.
The opioid abatement grant, the 781 money.
We usually feed them too,
I don't know if that's gonna happen or not.
don't hell yeah. Might have some donuts. Yeah.
Anyone else? Number 5, new business. Have any new business, Sheriff, or
Not there.
okay? Number 6, approve Commissioners' proceeding from previous meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Clark McCleary,
Yes.
Larry Watson,
Yes.
Billy Cloud.
Yes.
No blanket.
Number 7, approve blanket pills. Do you have any blanket pills?
No.
None of them, okay. Number 8, review and sign if approved cooperative agreement between Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Food and Forestry, Wildlife Service Division, and Haskell County Board of Commissioners.
It's for our, mainly we use it for the beaver trapping, but that's what it is, $3,400 split up between all 3 districts. You good with going into it again?
That take a price increase?
Yes, this
Yeah.
year.
Whatever you want to do.
I'll make a motion to approve. You good with it, Billy?
Well, I didn't, what do you, no, I
It's
didn't see it. What are you
The
talking
beaver
about?
trap.
Oh,
The beaver
trapper,
trapper.
went up to 34 instead of 25.
Yeah, something like- I think it was 24, wasn't it?
Yeah, 4 or 5. Yeah, I agree.
Second.
Clark McCleary,
Yes.
Larry Watson,
Yeah.
Billy Cloud.
Yes.
Yes.
Number 9,
Hold on, let's sign
You
this
guys
first.
have to
Bill.
sign it.
I'll sign it.
I'd like to talk to you after the meeting if you have time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you need to come by District 3.
Okay.
We got thousands of beavers all over, I think, as much as they keep their horns cut.
What do you do with the skins?
Per policy, we can't keep anything that we track.
Is that right?
Just as part of it.
That hit okay. Number 9, Haskell County Clerk Hannah Labor would like to address the Commissioners and the Haskell County Treasurer on the issues brought up in the previous Commissioners meeting on 5/12/25. Okay.
I want to thank you guys for letting me be on the agenda.
You bet.
So, in the meeting last Monday, there were several things brought up. I wasn't present to discuss my side of things with you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and pass this out to you. One of the things that was brought up was the Choctaw Nation quarterly donations that are being sent. My office has not received a miscellaneous receipt or an appropriation for that since 2023. That was well before I was ever even come to these meetings and taking the minutes. That was well before I ever was in charge in this office. So I can't answer why it wasn't questioned sooner. Mr. McCleary and I, or Commissioner McCleary and I were having a discussion a few weeks ago about this, and we were talking about the amount in the account and things, and we kind of realized that the numbers weren't correct. So then I brought it up to Holly, and she said that we were still receiving those donations. I was not aware of that. When I spoke with Holly about it, she gave me this piece of paper. It's a miscellaneous receipt fund by apportionment. And you can see I've highlighted here, and it shows that donations, what it's listed as. It's listed as $7,400 for the amount, county general, and then it has a fund number of 0001. I was told that that is how I'm supposed to know you guys are receiving that, and that's how I'm supposed to apportion it to the account. But my office doesn't apportion money based off of this paper. The only way we're supposed to do that is when it comes through monthly on an appropriation that the commissioners sign and the excise board signs. I think that's where a lot of this confusion and back and forth has kind of started. I have reached out to people higher than me to get clarification on if this actually needs to be in the donation fund or if it needs to stay in the general fund where it's at. I am waiting for answers on that before I make any other moves or anything, and I'll report back what I hear from the people above me. I just want to get answers on that for sure.
Absolutely, but that's not all entirely.
I'm speaking,
Correct.
please. Thank you. Anyways, I'm gonna reach out, I've reached out to the auditors and, with people with the Choctaw Nation to kind of figure out, some more information on that, because this is something that has been coming in for several years before I was ever even an employee of the county. So I wanna familiarize myself with it more, and we'll get some for sure answers on that before anything's done. But we are receiving donations, but this is just how my office is seeing it. We're not getting it on an appropriation, so that's how it was missed. It was never anything intentional. If it doesn't come over on an appropriation, I can't put it into a sub-account for you guys. If I just went off of a piece of paper that is sent to me, I mean, I would have things all kinds of messed up if I just went to put money in accounts. So that's just not how our office works.
We don't want it in a general fund, we want it in there. Choctaw Nation.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what made them put it in a general fund to begin
Yeah, I know,
with.
that's what we was all, you know.
Yeah,
I don't-
I'm just gonna get answers on that from the people
Okay.
higher than me.
Hannah?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I gave you all the packets.
Last week.
Not last week, the week before, because you were here. And as I said last week, this is an issue that started before your administration, before my administration. The state auditor's office changed, and that is why there's now an SOP on it, which is what I gave everybody, where donations can go. It's not just this, it is any donation. Must be logged through the donation fund. And Haskell County did correct that. And in August 19th of 2022, they took the Choctaw money and they put it in 1235 county donations. The problem is they did not have consistency and they didn't continue to do that. They went back to putting it in the general fund. That's the reason the money has to be moved. That's the reason it wasn't caught. General Fund 0001 is a budgeted account. Budgeted accounts do not get apportioned. The clerk's office doesn't apportion anything. They appropriate. They appropriate the money. They do appropriations, we do apportionments. They are different things. They look similar, they sound similar, they are different actions. So, anything that comes through county general is reimbursements. If you get grant money, FEMA money, all of that is put into a apportioned account. There are receipts for that, and then it is added to your accounts. The only thing that goes back into general fund is just reimbursements, because that's the county's money being spent for items. For example, the election board. They spend money having an election, the state election board reimburses them, and that is put back in the general fund. Not a portion, it's a repayment to county general. Anything that's additional or grants, those go into funds, cash funds, and they are apportioned. That's the biggest thing. I mean, when I get the money, when the treasurer's office receives money, we receipt it. When we receipt it, it's put in the bank. You follow, that's money in the bank. I've provided all the receipts. It was the previous administration's, both on the treasurer's side and the clerk's side. It just has to be corrected. I'm not sure why this has become such a big issue and there's personal offense. There's no offense here. This is just a problem.
Yep.
When I found it, is when I was questioned on where our county donation documents were. And I said, well, here they are. And then I started pulling it. Then Clark had a problem with the amount, Billy had a problem with the amount.
Yep.
And that's when I discovered, oh, it's been going into county general. We have signed paperwork from the clerk's office, previous administration, that that's where they wanted it.
But there was no reason, nobody's mad about anything. We're just glad we caught it and it's fixed up.
Just trying
And
to get it
that's
corrected.
it. Nobody's gonna hang nobody, or we ain't gonna have no trial or nothing like that. It was a mistake.
The only personal side of it was when I wasn't even here to speak on it Monday, and all
Well,
of this was brought up in the meeting.
That's why it was brought up, but it was also set back till you got so you could give your side in the meeting.
I wish that when I come into office, I had had the same courtesy. I
Yeah.
didn't. I understand.
I apologize, that's not, actually, I don't apologize, because that's not my fault.
I'm not saying it is. I'm saying, but what you're speaking of, that miscellaneous receipt report, that is what you balance off of. The balance paperwork that Caitlin gave you, you need those numbers to balance.
But when you came in my office, you told me this is how I'm supposed to know we have Choctaw money. Nothing
Not
on
Choctaw
here.
money, that is what goes into the general fund. You're balancing fund amount to
Yes,
fund amount.
absolutely.
That we
We'll just
can't-
agree to disagree, I guess, and that's fine. The issue's going to get fixed. I'm waiting to hear back if this really actually needs to be considered a donation, because it does come quarterly, has been coming quarterly for several years now. I'm just waiting on some clarification, so I know my office is doing the correct thing. When I have an update on that, I will
We're
report back to
getting
you
all the
guys.
auditors, right?
Yep.
Okay, they
The
all cleared
auditors,
up.
I've reached out to the Choctaw Nation.
But
I just wanna understand it better before I make any moves and create sub-accounts and things like that and move money.
There
Ain't
should
nobody
already,
mad
the
at
account
nobody.
should already be created.
Yeah, I'm just glad we caught it. You know, and it's been taken care of, and Clark
Yeah.
had to write them out anyway, so you
Yeah.
didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, Clark brought it up to me,
Clark,
and
we got it, Clark,
we took it to the treasurer's office, so.
but everything's fine, ain't nobody mad at nobody, I don't know why it is blowed up to speak. Because this is, I'm glad we caught it, everybody make mistakes, and I don't see nothing wrong with what happened. Okay, let's,
I've got a question for Hannah.
Okay,
Hannah, when this piece of paper, where does this piece of paper come from?
this is generated from the treasurer's office.
Okay, I'm looking at this and it says donations. How do you know whether it's from the Choctaw or what is?
Previously, the Choctaw donations were coming in as a check, which the commissioners would sign, but it's coming over as an EFT payment now, and I don't see that, the treasurer's office does.
So it shows up as,
Don't they still have to approve it, to accept it?
Yeah.
Because my donations have to come across there.
Does yours come as an EFT
No,
or electronically?
no, it doesn't, but
They'll approve a check because they have to sign it, but when it's electronic,
they don't have to approve it.
they don't sign it.
so it comes down from there down to you as a donation. How do you know what it is?
I
That's the
don't.
question.
That is the answer I'm looking for, Joe.
Oh, okay, maybe it went over my head.
No, that is the big question here, is I would never know that was Choctaw money based off of this paper.
So could it be labeled different?
Well, that's,
I don't know, because that comes from Holly's office, so I can't
Well, if it
answer
comes
that.
in-
No, those are prescribed by the state. The state makes the names. How it comes across and how they know is all from the miscellaneous receipts.
And I haven't received miscellaneous receipts on this Choctaw money
The
since
previous,
2023, when the past treasurer was sending them.
no,
So I still-
miscellaneous receipts come over every month. Now, I
But they are
asked
attached
Jamie,
with appropriations, but this
No.
doesn't come as an appropriation.
excuse me, now, I'm talking.
I'm on the
Jamie,
agenda.
I asked Jamie on these because we provide these, they're in everybody's boxes when they send things over, so that they have their miscellaneous receipts, and she said that the previous administration, she had stopped sending these over because they told her they were not using these, and they were just having to either file them or put them in the trash. And I told her, it doesn't matter, just like every other department, every day they are to get the miscellaneous receipts. And so she went back to putting those in there. But any of the departments, they all get their miscellaneous receipts from everything that they send over.
well, there's
Same way
nobody,
y'all get y'all's.
nobody's heard nothing, so we got it straightened up, I think that's good enough.
We don't receive the miscellaneous receipts for this because we looked for them and we file every miscellaneous receipt that is sent over. We have files going back for years on those. So, the next, item I'd like to bring up is the check that was being held in my office that was signed in the commissioners meeting in March. I took that check the week that it was signed in the commissioners meeting. It was for the opioid abatement. I knew it wasn't settlement money, but it was for this other opioid money. My office didn't have anywhere to deposit that. I did take it to the treasurer's office and asked about that, because whenever we go to create a sub-account for something new, we receive information, it comes straight from the Attorney General's office, but usually Sherry Schieffer sends it out with OSU, because she's the pro at account numbers and things like that, so she helps everyone with that. In the past, whenever, for example, when Terry received the sheriff assistant grant bonus money, in order for me to create that fund or that sub-account, I had to get information on it from the treasurer's office. I asked her if she had any kind of information on the account number or any of that from the Attorney General, so I could create an account to deposit that into. She stated that she didn't have anything at that time, no information on it. I asked her if she wanted just to hold the check in her office until we had information on it, and then I just ended up taking it back with me. I put it in our safe, and it has sat there for a little while, but I was waiting on information from it. I did call, not this last Friday, but the Friday before, and spoke with someone in Holly's office. They remembered the conversation, and now I'm being led to believe, as of last Monday's meeting, that conversation did not happen, and Holly was not aware of this check, and she didn't know why I was holding it or anything like that. But the Friday that I had called her office to ask about it, if they'd received information, I was provided with the information that I needed. I don't know how long they had this. I'm gonna just go out on a limb and guess that she didn't receive it that day. I don't know, but there is a sub-account created and the check has been deposited. I cannot do that until I have this information. I have reached out to Sherry Schieffer and had her add me to whatever email list that she has going, where she sends all this information out to the counties. But I know previously I was getting this information from the treasurer's office. So that's just why I went ahead and did that with this check. The money has been deposited, so I think we should be good on that.
That check was the exact same thing as the $75,000 check. You came over and asked me about 781 money. I answered you about 781. This check is not 781. I'm the one that printed all that off and gave it, but it is the same as the 75,000 that we had deposited 2 days before. And the only thing I said in the meeting is yes, I needed it put in there that we did not have it, we didn't. There is a statutory requirement that these offices have to deposit daily. We can't hold a check. I can't hold it. We've had situations before where we didn't know whose money was whose. We still had to deposit it, and we would send y'all emails, and we would call, and we have to carry that money in transit. And that's how that's what should have happened with this. It was just a miscommunication.
781, it still don't exist. We don't know that we even qualify for anything. I don't know how that even got in the picture, because the auditors was here then. It did not exist.
No, it's just a confusion, and so people were asking me about 781.
It don't exist.
More than just Hannah, and I would say, no, we don't have it. We don't.
That's right.
So are you saying that this check is opioid settlement money?
There are two different grants. There's
okay, but then it's not like the 75.
Yes, it is. The 75 is opioid abatement attorney general grant. That check is the same.
Well, anyways, I know it's not 781 money, but I cannot put it somewhere until I have this information right here that comes from the treasurer's office.
Well, if you got it all worked out, because it's the same way with the 781 money. They was writing checks, the money wasn't there. So you couldn't send no checks through on it. So I don't know, but y'all need to get with the auditors, and this is never gonna work if y'all don't work together. The county clerk and the treasurer's gotta work together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and look at this, I don't know why you blow all this stuff up. If you make a mistake, come in, ain't nobody gonna hang nobody, we ain't gonna write up nothing, they ain't gonna run to the DA, we take care of it right here, we did. It's been taken care of.
We're all human and we make mistakes.
Yes, that's right.
Own up to it, fix it, move on.
Yep, that's it.
Yes.
That's it. Okay.
Also, on the 308s.
Can I speak? I was put on the agenda.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Holly, you had mentioned in the meeting last Friday, or last Monday, that you tried to speak with me about this stuff.
Yes.
I feel like you left it very vague on maybe that I didn't want to meet with you. You asked to meet with me privately,
Yes.
not with anyone in my office or anyone in your office.
Yes.
And I told you I didn't feel comfortable with that.
Yes.
I don't care to speak with you about this stuff, but I want ears. I want people to be able to hear, because then that leads that conversation to go to he said, she said kind of stuff. I'm not comfortable with speaking privately.
And that's fine. I did not want to cause a big disturbance with either office, as if you did something wrong, they did something. This actually started in a previous administration, which I said in the meeting. You are taking offense where there is no offense.
I'm only offended because you brought it up when my office wasn't here to speak
How,
on
I
it.
did not know you wasn't gonna be here.
Well, then
And
you
I
didn't
still
have to say anything because I wasn't sitting here.
I did have to say something. I have accountability with the auditor's office on my deposits and when they are made.
Okay.
I have to
I
answer
also
for
have
that.
accountability on things as well, Holly.
I'm not saying you don't.
Okay.
Is that it?
I'm sorry that it got to this point. I wanted just to be able to speak without interruption, so I apologize.
Well, if that's all, then we'll move on to number 10, review and sign if approved. Appropriations, transfer and appropriation checks received, POs to be paid.
Motion approved.
Second.
Cart McCleary,
Yes.
Larry Watson, Billy Cloud.
Yes.
So these are reimbursement checks from OHMS. Whenever we did the sheriff's assistance grant, and those accounts, those extra accounts were set up to pay twice that month, the county's portion for the insurance was listed on there, and so it was an overpayment. Shouldn't have been, but we caught it. We've been working with OHMS, and they reimbursed the money.
Okay. We've got a little bit of a mix-up on this one, correct? It's generally paid to the contractor, but this one come to us, it's for the water line relocation on Tomahawk number 2. CED has advised that we put it in the CBRIF account for District 2 and then cut the check out. So could we do a special apportionment, Holly, next week since we have our excise here? Because the water company set on this where they fronted the money for quite some time. Because if not, it'll probably be the second week in June, right? Before it comes across.
The, may not can do one next. Yeah, should be able to do on the 27th.
Okay, so we can run it across next Monday.
Well, we're closed on Monday.
Well,
so
Tuesday.
Yeah,
Work. I appreciate it.
that should be a problem.
That way we can get their money to them. Like I said, they've sat on it for quite a while.
It'll depend on our updates. I'll have to check with TM. We're getting some of our updates right now. So we may have to push it that following week, but I'll check on that to make sure.
service charge?
Just a service charge. On late payment.
Yeah.
Hold that one.
It's late, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we'll call the invoice. First month.
Where you seeing that?
The invoice right there, 131, and then, we got a service charge 331, and then now we've got the second service charge for 430. The original bill was
the fenders, painted, grill, intercooler.
I just didn't see where it added up to.
All that from $1.
Hey, man, I done that for a reason. Just one so far is pretty good.
Yeah. Can't believe I got all off this so far. I'm doing good too.
Busy.
Okay, back in meeting, number 11, make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Clark McCleary?
Yes.
Larry Watson?
Yes.
Billy Cloud?
Yes.
Excise Board needs a motion to recess from the Commissioners' meeting and adjourn.
So moved.
Joe Clement?
Yes.
Jerry Carroll?
Yes.
Jody Allen?